White Sox team can have a really decent season in a really bad division. That's what you guys have to remember. It's a really bad division.
It is.
That's
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
You have your scab-eating OC holding you back, calling two of the same screenplays in a row during one game, and having you throw two passes, which I was corrected by, one pass in the fourth quarter of a game you were the best player in. Fight me!
A bullshit? A bullshit? A bullshit. Bullshit.
a good organization would do. But this is the Bears, not a good organization. So they're going to keep Ryan.
Why?
We just feel our disappointment. That's all.
Yeah, nothing wrong with
Difference
that.
between the Bears and the Bears.
Yeah, we do it. We do it when it's still warm outside.
Right, yeah.
We can get out like October, beginning November. Still like 50, 60 degrees. Nowadays, it's still like 70 degrees.
And that way, during the winter, we're still so angry that everything's warm. And welcome to Combs and Fitz, Windy City Sports Talk. It's your boy, Brandon Combs, along with my guy, Ryan Fitzgibbons, whose son has contracted me as a hitman for the last couple of hours. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about more. Lots of stuff going on in life. But one of the biggest things going on right now around Chicago, the White Sox, not in last place.
Yes, not the worst team in either league somehow.
Is
Thank
this the
you.
latest in
Thank
the
you.
season that they haven't been in last place in like 3 years?
Yeah, yes. I mean, they were tied for first for quite a while, and then Detroit and Cleveland started to say, "Yeah, let's win some games here."
Yeah.
That's enough of that. But still some intrigue, some interest in the team, and we thought we'd do what we do sometimes. We actually usually pick the worst games we possibly can. We picked the Bears Cardinals game during the season, which was probably the worst played game the Bears had against not a very good team, and just got cremated.
But every game that you can pick against the White Sox or for the White Sox right now is a good game to pick because 3/4 of Chicago can't watch them right now.
Yes.
So
we're the only game in town.
Yeah. So joining us for a White Sox game is probably the best idea that you've ever had.
Yes. And it's the perfect game. We got Shane Smith, who I called Sam Smith on your
He
text.
made that name up in January because he don't want people to know his real name. He might as well have just picked John Doe.
Yes, exactly.
Shane, what's your name? Shane Smith. No, it's not. As soon as somebody tells me their name is Shane Smith, my immediate reaction is no, it's not. It's not a real name.
It's like a name. It's like a name you make up in Hollywood because you're like back around, the before and after World War II because you're Jewish. You don't want anybody to know that you're Jewish. But Shane Smith, an interesting pitcher, and we'll get to the Red Sox pitcher in a second because I'd rather not really talk about that, but we have to, seeing that he's pitching in the game.
So, speaking of the Red Sox pitcher, so Garrett Crochet, Carlos Rodon, and Chris Sale are all pitching today. None of them for the White Sox.
Yeah, and they were I think they were leading in all three of them last year were top 12 or 13 in strikeouts per 9 innings.
Mm-hmm.
I could probably go on. Missed bats. I know, Rodon and Garrett Crochet missed a lot of bats. Sale's, getting older, but, he's had a resurgence lately. I don't know how his elbow stays together, but so yeah.
A lot better than
anyway.
Justin Steele's elbows staying together right now.
Oh boy.
Yikes. said he's getting a second opinion. Anytime I hear a pitcher's getting a second opinion on an elbow, you're going to be missing him for about a year and a half because of Tommy John.
Tommy John surgery. Yep. We're getting a second opinion. Does that second opinion ever work out?
No. Usually the second opinion. Here's how I imagine it goes. The first doctor is like, "Yeah, I recommend Tommy John." The pitcher's like, "I don't know. I gotta go ask another doctor." And then they get to the second doctor, and he's like, "You should have listened to the first doctor because I recommend Tommy John." I mean, it's kind of it's such a normal procedure that I think that the first doctor, when he sees it, knows that you need it.
Yeah. But you don't want to take a year and a half off and not have to. I've never heard, anytime I've heard of a second opinion, I've never heard it come back where the guy doesn't have surgery like a week later.
Right. 100%. And that's going to hurt the Cubs unless they continue to score 10 runs a game. Then
or 16. 2 touchdowns and 2 extra points, or 2 2-point conversions.
If the Cubs are missing Justin Steele, here's a question for you. What's a higher total? The Cubs wins or the Sox losses?
Sox losses, I think, for sure. I mean, I'm not just saying that because they're 4-10. I mean, I had them picked to lose 110 games. Yeah, I don't think the Cubs are going to win 110 games. I had them winning maybe 88 to 90, something like that. I think I had them at 89 actually. So,
but they've taken 2 out of 3 from Boston. Can't they find a way?
They might take 3 out of 3, but I doubt it. The way they hit the ball, although they do have some guys on their team like Robert and Vaughn who can hit left-handed pitching pretty well. Maybe not the best left-handed pitcher in the league, but I don't know who's better than Crochet. I mean,
which is why Crochet just struck out Robert on a 98-mile-an-hour fastball up and out of the zone.
Yeah. He'll bite on those. Maybe we'll get him later.
Once or twice.
3 pitches.
Yeah. So we got the White Sox. Look, I don't want to say that they're playing good baseball, but they've been more enjoyable to watch.
Oh yeah,
in the early season this year as opposed to last season. Not just because they won 4 games before their 30th or 35th or 40th game last year, which was about when they won it last year, but they're more fun to watch as a team right now.
Yeah,
and I wouldn't say that on TV just because it's Schriffen is a tough listen for me. I'm not a big Schriffen guy. And I told you that when they hired him before he ever even spoke on White Sox television. The day he got hired, you and I did a show, and I said, "You're not going to like this." And I said, Sox fans are not going to like this.
It all comes down to Miguel Vargas. Swings at the first one. It gets through to left field. One comes in, and we might have an injury. Oh, no.
Is that the most...
Should we put Doubting Thomas's comment back up? He had to have the White Sox fan with a bag over his head.
Is there a more White Sox way to lose right now?
I don't know one. Running the bases. I've never seen a team get hurt more running the bases.
I've seen it. I've seen the hamstring pull on the way to...
Crochet got out of the inning, by the way, which no one's shocked at.
No.
It's barely news.
I've seen it happen on the way down to first trying to leg it out. I've never seen it happen rounding third on the way home.
Oh, I've seen it. It's happened.
Really?
Just not to tie a game in the
bottom of the ninth.
I think it was the top of the ninth, but whatever.
It was so disappointing. Like I remember, like I was on my way. Actually, I was at the radio station. I had just gotten there, and we turned on the game, and I turned it. And he gets the hit. And I'm like, oh, they're gonna tie it. And he comes around. I'm like, oh no.
Oh no! You turned into Schriffen.
Yeah, with a little assholeness to it.
Yeah, I mean, and if it was like if he broke his leg or something, it'd just be sad. But it's just his hamstring again, and he's out a few weeks, maybe a month at most. So it was hilarious.
Do you put that on Venable at all? Because he was just coming off of a hamstring injury. and they knew that his hamstring was not at 100% necessarily. Do you put that on Venable at all for not pinch running for him when he got to second?
In the 9th inning? Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, come on. You got to let the guys play, but usually a guy with a hamstring injury, you don't want him playing 9, 10, 11 innings. But, I mean, you got to, if the guy's ready to play.
Yeah.
But anyway, that aside, I said that should be our new intro because that's basically been the theme of the show. That rounding third has been the theme of the show because any team that has round third, metaphorically speaking, and come home in Chicago has not made the playoffs. Cubs 20.
By the way, Shane Smith looks like he pushes a double stroller to every start. I've decided. He looks like that guy in your softball league who shows up 5 minutes late pushing a double stroller. That's what he looks like.
Maybe
but anyway,
a case of old style in that double stroller.
Yeah, we could have that play backed up by the 1-2 decision to intentionally walk a batter, followed by the entire Cubs 2023 September.
Yes,
where they collapsed. And that would sum up Combs and Fitz Windy City Sports Talk.
Or you can even put in the play where the Bears score a touchdown against Washington to go ahead with like 20 seconds to go in the game, and they're about to be 5-2.
They're
about to be 5-2. I mean, maybe not number one in the division at the time, but maybe number 2 in the division. And you think like, oh God, I mean, it's hard not to think with the Cardinals and Patriots next. They're not 7-2 or at least 6-3 and make the playoffs. And they end up, was their record 5-12 on the season?
Something like
or 6 and whatever.
And as the White Sox get out of the inning here, they Trevor Story started off with a single up the middle. Then they turned a double play and then got looked like that wasn't Sedan.
Yeah, what I was gonna say is they got Shane Smith in a Rule 5 draft. Which has been around, Jesus, I don't even know how long now. It's supposed to protect against teams who stockpile minor leaguers, which the Twins do a lot of because they can actually scout. Pretty much neither team in this city can do that. I mean, I guess the Cubs have the edge there, but not by a whole hell of a lot. But yeah, and they do a draft. Sleepy Tony. Hello. And the Sox got Shane Smith, who's been impressive, has impressive stuff. You would not think he would have been this good. He was their 5th pitcher. I would say he's probably their ace at this point. Not saying a whole lot, but interesting game. Pete Carroll, what's going on with the Raiders?
He's their ace.
Are the Raiders going for it? Are the Raiders not?
We're gonna find out at the draft. To be honest with you, I have no clue. I don't know what they're doing.
No one does.
It's interesting with the Raiders. What is it with teams that wear black and white and silver?
I don't know. It's not very good.
Yeah. Yeah. No. That division might be the best coach division in all of football. I don't know what the Raiders are doing though.
No.
Like what did you do by going to trade for Geno Smith? And I know Geno Smith resurrected his career under Pete Carroll, so I kind of understand the thought process, but I don't understand the thought process.
Yeah, they go out and they get Raheem Mostert too, who was bad, but had some good years. Ex-Bear, by the way, not good with the Bears, but was pretty much seemed like his career was over in Miami.
Yeah, he had one game where he scored 4 touchdowns in a game. Was that last year or 2 years ago when that offense was? I think it was 2 years ago when that offense was really clicking. He had a few good games. He had a decent season 2 years ago, but yeah, he's he's like every other running back in the NFL. You have a short lifespan, which is why you don't take one in the top 10 of an NFL draft.
Here we go.
I don't care
You
where you go.
Mitigate your Barry Sanders weirdness from a
It's true, and I've had many people when I tell them that and how I put it to them the same way, and they completely agree.
what?
They completely agree that in today's NFL, it doesn't matter how good the running back is. That unless actually the caveat that was put to me
Unless
was
it is Barry Sanders.
no, the caveat to me was put by unless you are a team that made a trade that puts you in the top 10, but you are a Super Bowl contender and you're just a running back away, then sure. But if you are a team that is rebuilding, which is why you're picking in the top 10, you do not take a running back, no matter how good he is, because a lifespan of a running back is only 4 to 5 years. And sure, you might get Barry Sanders, but you're going to get Barry Sanders for 4 to 5 years with a team that's not ready to win. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Unless it's Barry Sanders.
No, even if it's Barry Sanders, it doesn't make sense.
I mean, it does.
Okay. It doesn't.
Combs, every single NFL GM would take Barry Sanders at 10.
If you're talking about an all-time players ranking, sure. If you're talking about an all-time player, but there is nobody right now. You're talking about guys who when you're looking at running backs now, and you're talking about a guy who's coming out of the WAC who averaged 200 plus yards per game in his college career at Boise State in Ashton Genty, and people are talking about him like he could be one of the best running backs of all time. Like he is a generational running back, blah, 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 blah. You don't take him in the top 10. And if you do, it's a mistake. And the reason why it's a mistake is because what you can get in later rounds with the offensive line that you can build in the earlier rounds, what you can get in later rounds is going to give you maybe not the same exact production, but production that's good enough for them to be great as well. There are too many times in this league, in the NFL, where you find running backs in later rounds to handcuff yourself and take one at 10 or earlier than 10, or even in the first round, period, if you ask me, and not have something in front of him that can block. You are doing not only that running back at a service, but you are doing your franchise at a service, and you are pushing yourself back. Now, look, will I argue with you till the cows come home that if they take Genty at 10, if the Bears draft Ashton Genty in the first round, will I not root for Ashton Genty? No, of course not. Of course I'll root for him. I want him to be Barry Sanders. I want him to be Walter Payton. I want him to be Jim Brown. But if you are sitting there next year and the Bears are 9-8 with Ashton Genty, and we're sitting there watching another all-pro offensive tackle sandwich people in the Super Bowl, I want you again to tell me that Ashton Genty was the right pick.
I'm not going to say he was the right pick. I am going to say that Barry Sanders would be the right pick. That's what I'm going to say.
So if Ashton
I'm
Genty,
getting word. Can we stream the game?
I don't think so.
We can't stream the game, can we?
I wouldn't think so.
Dude,
I would think that's illegal. I would think there's copyright issues. I don't know who's telling you this, but whoever's telling you this probably wants us off the air. They probably want us off the air. Who's telling you this?
My sister, Megan.
Megan.
Yeah, she definitely wants us.
She hates us. All because I haven't mowed your lawn long yet. Right?
She said look it up. We'll have the production team look it up.
We'll have the productions. They're on it right now.
We'll have the production team look up Barry Sanders as well to make sure he was still good in his career.
Barry Sanders is the greatest running back of all time.
Yes, so you would
never said that he wasn't. But in today's NFL, you will not take a guy who averages 1,400 yards a season who scores 10 touchdowns a season in the first round when you don't have anything around him. It doesn't make sense. When you haven't had, and you've been crying about a left tackle for years.
Yes, I would like a left tackle. Yeah, I mean, it's
right.
obvious.
So that's why I'm saying you don't take, because what you can get in production, if you're not going to get 1,400 yards and 10 touchdowns a season with the guy that you take in the first round, you're going to get 1,000 yards a season with 6 to 7 touchdowns with the guy you take in the second or third round. And it's been proven time and time again in the NFL in the last 20 years.
I see your point about Genty. I see your point there. Everything else you say is completely
I'm talking about the numbers. When you put it in an analogy, you put it in the analogy of the numbers. And what Barry Sanders was numbers-wise, averaged 1,400 yards a season, averaged 10 touchdowns a season. You're not taking that in the first round. You just shouldn't. Because what you can get in the second and third round is just as productive.
Doubting Thomas says, I know someone who wanted Quentin Johnston at 10 in 2023, who was screaming on stage at Bourbon Street in Marionette Park, Illinois, about it when the Bears took Darnell Wright.
Indeed.
Who they should have taken Jalen Carter, but whatever.
There are times I get it wrong. Well,
the Bears got it wrong too, if you ask me.
Wait, who did they take? What are you talking about? I gotta remember who they took.
The Bears took Darnell Wright.
Darnell Wright.
Jalen Carter.
Yeah.
They traded the pick for pretty much nothing.
And was that a 10? Were they picking a 10 that year too?
Yeah, they were. They traded it to Philadelphia. 9. They traded. They picked at 10.
Gotcha. Okay. Sometimes you get them wrong. I was also high on Will Levis.
Oh man, that guy plays.
So sometimes you get it wrong, but sometimes you get it right.
His plays are, some of his plays, like that dump off interception play against the Bears, and then he did the same thing the next week. It's as if he should have been drafted by the Bears.
When we were sitting at the bar and we were watching the game, having lunch, and we watched their head coach rip off the headset and say, "What the fuck are you doing?" to his quarterback as he walked to the sidelines. That's when I knew. I was like, yeah, I was wrong about this kid. He's not good. He's not good. I thought he was going to be better than what he was. But I've also been right about a few quarterbacks. I've also been right about a few running backs. Things happen. Sometimes you get them wrong. Sometimes you get them right. Like, do you believe in Shedeur Sanders? Is Shedeur Sanders ready to change a franchise this season?
It's hard because of the conference he plays in football. Not that there isn't some good teams in it. None of them really play defense.
If you were a fan of a different team other than the Chicago Bears, who have a quarterback, if you were a fan of, let's say, the New York Giants or the I'm trying to think of other teams right now that don't have a quarterback, the Tennessee Titans. If you're a fan of either one of those teams, are you happy if they take Shedeur in the first round?
It's not a very good quarterback draft.
No,
it isn't. It's not like,
but you don't have to handcuff yourself and take one just because you need one, right?
No,
you can always make do and get one next year.
You don't have to, no. But who are the Giants throwing out there this year? Who are the Titans throwing out there this year? I mean, I'd like to come somewhere close, and we're already in the third inning.
We are in the third inning, tied at nothing. Red Sox do have a runner on first with 2 outs, and Rafael Devers is at the dish. That ball got smoked up the middle off of Shane Smith's glove.
He's starting to hit Devers.
Yeah, I mean,
Or having 15 strikeouts in like 7 games.
15 strikeouts in his first 19 at bats.
Jesus,
That's tough.
like 5 games.
That's tough. I mean, I do that a lot on the PlayStation when I'm playing online. I'll strike out 15 times in 19 at bats, but you shouldn't be doing that if you're a Major League Baseball player.
Baseball's hard.
Baseball is very hard.
Incredibly hard.
But these guys get paid millions upon millions of hundreds of millions of dollars to play it. So to them, it shouldn't be that hard.
No.
I mean, it should be hard, but it shouldn't be that hard. 15 and 19 is tough as Devers flies out to left field here to end the inning. So nothing heading to the bottom of the third for the White Sox.
We're 25 minutes into the game or something like that. 30 minutes into the game.
Something like that. Yeah.
Going into the bottom of the third.
What's let me ask you, what has been your thoughts? I know what my thoughts are, but what has been your thoughts on the Cubs so far this season?
I mean, if you're not jumping for joy, especially with the way the bullpen has handled itself again. If you're not jumping for joy, I mean, I don't know. You're not doing the whole fan thing right. If you're a fan of the team, I mean, I could see how if you're pretty close to the team and you want to have an objective look at it with Justin Steele going down, if he is down, which even a good second opinion means he's down for at least a month, and then you have a minor league stint, and now you have another abbreviated year for him. Yeah,
We're gonna have to go off the fact that he's out. I mean, because I
hate giving you credit for anything, but maybe getting Scherzer would have been a good idea.
Yeah. Or
in the offseason.
Veta.
Yeah.
For $1 million.
But they're breaking even on the north side, so you don't, when you're a billionaire, you don't want to have 1/1000th of your money going to, I guess, one pitcher. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you have to still be happy. Lots of things are going right. We're on Matt Shaw watch, though. We are on when does he go back down watch.
I mean,
we are. They're not going to let it get too far below 150 on that average.
Yeah, it's been interesting because here's the thing about Matt Shaw too, is that he's hit into some bad luck as well. He has hit the ball hard, but you're right. I mean, he's not performing well. I'm not a big fan of his leg kick. I'm just not. But again, I gave it the benefit of the doubt because he's hit at every level he's been at.
Yeah.
Who the hell am I? You know what I mean? So, but when I saw the leg kick in Japan, I was like, oh, I don't necessarily like this. But we've seen guys with awkward swings and awkward stances and awkward leg kicks hit at a high level before. Nomar Garciaparra comes to mind.
Yeah.
You know, so Kyle Tucker.
Barry Sheffield.
Yeah,
Gary
Sheffield. Sammy Sosa.
Raking. Doubting Thomas is right. He is absolutely raking. He is. Yeah. They made a great decision arguing with him in arbitration and not signing him before the season started.
Well, there have been reports. The same guy who reported on Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s extension before it happened is now also reporting that the Cubs and Kyle Tucker are close to an extension, which is going to be in the ballpark of 9 to 10 years for anywhere between 450 and 500 million. I'll believe it when I see it. But it is coming from a credible source who also reported something that nobody thought, because I don't think anybody thought that Vladimir was staying in Toronto. And you know, the reports were out there from him on Twitter. And so, you know, good for him. Trying to get a name for you here.
Not a lot of people thought that Kyle Tucker was going to stay here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, for sure. I'm looking for this name here of the gentleman who is.
And Garrett Crochet is just mowing through the White Sox lineup and nobody is surprised. He's got 4 Ks already. And
Well, Garrett Crochet mows through a lot of lineups.
yeah, true. And
So-
2 2/3. And we're also on whatever. Anyway, he does mow through a lot of lineups, but
He does.
not very hard to mow through this lineup.
PCA also turned down a $75 million deal reportedly as well.
Really?
Yeah, which surprises me for a guy who hasn't shown that he can hit consistently at this level yet.
And that he's
I
mean, you're pretty sure that he's not going to be a star either.
Hector Gomez, and
Okay,
Mike
Hector Gomez.
Gonzalez, and Mike Gonzalez as well. At Mike Deportes on Twitter.
That's a lot of Hispanic guys making a report on a white dude.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, they
Identity politics. I brought it to the show.
They get they're getting a lot of stuff from whoever their sources are. And whoever their sources are giving them, but the same sources gave them the Vladimir Guerrero deal. So we'll see. I don't. Again, when it comes to deals this big and it comes to this organization that I love so damn much, I'll believe it when I see it. Because until I see it, I just don't know. And I've been in the camp of stop saying that Ricketts doesn't spend the money. And look, I know he says things that make him sound irresponsible and outright stupid at times. I mean, I'm not afraid to say it. I mean, when you say that we're just trying to break even and you expect fans to believe it, or when you say, biblical losses during a nationwide pandemic where people were losing their jobs, it makes you sound dumb. And I understand that when it comes to Ricketts, but when you look at the numbers just don't support that theory. Since he's been the owner in 2010, he's been in the top 10 in payroll all but 3 of those seasons. And 3 of those seasons, they were rebuild seasons that we knew about. Other than that, I mean, he's been as high as the top payroll in baseball. He's been as high as number 2 other than that. So he will spend the money. And I believe that if they can get Tucker to sign a long-term deal, I believe he will pay it. I've been in argument after argument. I got into an argument a little bit on Twitter with
Barry Sanders' wife.
I don't know. I don't know if you've heard of Mark Silverman of the Sylvie and Waddle show.
Yes, I have.
But he posted, when are the Cubs going to start spending money? And Nick Friedel, who posted, he said, yeah, not as long as cheapskate Tom owns the team. And then I came back and I said, the payroll has been good. When are we going to stop blaming the money that Tom doesn't spend and start blaming the money that Jed just doesn't spend wisely? And that's kind of where we get to, like right now. Right, the money that he did not spend wisely, the money to go and get Ryan Presley and tell him he's going to be your 9th inning guy. Boy, does that look like a great idea. But meanwhile, when I said when this happened, you still don't have any back into the rotation for a rotation that gets injured a lot. And now we are dealing with Justin Steele maybe needing Tommy John and no reserves. Now, granted, you still have some guys down in the minor leagues that you can call up. You still got a Jordan Wicks. You've still got a couple of guys there. I just don't know where this is, where you thought that this was a good idea and where you're not spending the money correctly, which has been a consistent problem over the course of your reign as the general manager of this team.
I just think there was a couple of guys that they could have picked up. A guy who's leading off next inning here, Alex Bregman, being one of them, who's batting 288 right now. I think he had like 12 or 13 RBIs so far. If you home runs. I think when that stuff happens, people are going to definitely get on how much money can they spend. Now, if Kyle Tucker gets signed, that might change a few things
Yeah.
around. But when you're basically a 500 team for 2.5 years and you haven't even gone partially all in, I think that's where a lot of the criticism is going to come from. It's just going to be natural. People are going to criticize what they're doing. And if they don't trust their general manager, they should have canned his ass 2 years ago or a year or this offseason.
I agree.
Gone in a different direction and gone with, like I said before, a Dombrowski style GM who almost, won a World Series with the Tigers. Won with the Boston Red Sox. He's the one that pulled the trigger on the trade with Chris Sale. Spends a lot of money. I mean, and usually spends it sort of in the right place. I don't know why they didn't do something like that. If they did want to spend money.
Yeah.
And like I've said before, it's not done in a microcosm. This is the same guy who said that they're breaking even. And I don't know anybody who believes it. I mean, I don't think you believe it.
Why would anybody believe it? I mean, it's a joke to even think about. And if you are breaking even, then you should probably get out of business.
Yes, you could sell the team for 5 times, maybe 6 or 7 times what you paid for it and go into the sunset.
Well, not only that, but how good of a business owner can you be?
Mm-hmm.
If you've taken something like this and you've turned it into something where you're only trying to break even, which would suggest that you don't break even because you're trying to break even. So it just doesn't make any sense to me. And I understand that. And I get the criticism for Tom Ricketts. I do. But again, in 2019, when that team wasn't very good and they were on their last legs, they were number 1 in payroll. They were number 1 in the league in payroll. They spent more money than the Yankees, more money than the Red Sox. They spent more money than anybody. So he is willing to spend the money
than anybody was willing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But he is willing to spend the money. He has shown the ability to spend more money than anybody in baseball at times. So I'm not of the. I don't have any pity for somebody who is going to run a team as a GM or as a president of baseball operations, because I believe that's actually his title. We call him GM, but I believe he's a president of baseball operations, and then the GM is Carter Hawkins. I believe that's how their titles are. But I don't have any sympathy for those baseball guys who come in, because I don't ever expect an owner to actually know the ins and outs of baseball. I don't expect them to be a scout. I don't expect them to know what a good player is. But my president of baseball operations, who has worked underneath one of the greatest general managers of all time, Theo Epstein, for basically his entire career, I do expect him to be able to recruit. I do expect, or not recruit, scout. I do expect him to be able to understand what good baseball players look like. And when it comes to Jed Hoyer, it just has not been that. The bullpen has been atrocious for 6 years now. When was the last time the Cubs had even in 2016, the bullpen wasn't great. They went out and made a fantastic trade at the trade deadline to get a closer. But that bullpen wasn't fantastic.
No.
So that's why I give Tom Ricketts a little bit more leniency when it comes to, not spending money, because he does spend the money. He does spend the money. I mean, there's no doubt about that he is willing to be the top payroll in baseball. He's done it before. So that I have proof of that. Just like we have proof that Jed Hoyer doesn't spend it in the right places. Now, I don't know if it's because, he wants to be the smartest guy. That's what it seems like to me. It's what it seems like when he talks. It's what it seems like with the players that he goes and he signs. That's what it seems like with the players that come in and that he trades for and trades top prospects for, and that come in with no extension. Dansby Swanson, $30 million per year, perfect right there, because you had all of those shortstops. You had Trey Turner, you had Carlos Correa, you had all of these other shortstops that were there. Dansby Swanson was like 4th or 5th on that list of shortstops that you would want, and they ended up with Dansby Swanson. Why? Because he was the cheapest option.
Yeah.
And I feel like when you look at Jed, I feel like you look at a guy who wants to be the smartest guy in the room. You look at a guy who wants to be like, look what I did with Ryan Presley. Look what I did with Dansby Swanson. Now look, going and getting Kyle Tucker, you got a bona fide superstar. And you've got an opportunity here
that
to lock this guy down for 10 years, then you got to do it. And I don't care if you have to overpay.
A lot of people wanted Kyle Tucker, and you did give up quite a lot for him.
Right.
So I mean, that was, I don't want to say it was no brainer because they got him. They put the trade together. They did the work. I'm sure it was about 1 million phone calls, but no one was saying, "Oh, Kyle Tucker." No, I mean, he's top. If you want, you can make the argument he's top 5 player in the league. I would put him maybe a little bit below that, but definitely a good player. Really good outfielder who hits left-handed. I mean, look at Bryce Harper's. Look at Juan Soto. Juan Soto isn't even a good outfielder, and he got that giant contract from the Mets. So I wouldn't be surprised over 400 million. I did not think that would be in the cards for Kyle Tucker, but I'm not shocked at that. Like I said, having a left-handed bat at one of your corner outfielders. I mean, if you could have it, that's why I thought Yohan Moncada was so valuable. This is a switch hitter who just crushes the ball from the left, or did, from the left side of the plate, and played third base. Like, that's like gold. Now you don't need to have it at the other, but a guy like that, now you don't really need, but the Cubs don't totally need first baseman who hits from the left side. You don't totally need that. Be good to have, but you don't even need that as a DA. I mean, you already have that now. So that's why it's so valuable is all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, and I completely understand that side of it, right? Like, I completely understand the
and there's one out in the bottom of the 4th.
Yeah,
not even an hour into the game.
Yeah, that's why it is moving fast. I mean, both pitchers are just mowing them down. I mean, we're in the bottom of the 4th with 1 out, and there's a 0-2 count now to Luis Robert, and you're looking at Garrett Crochet is only 43 pitches in.
Yeah, and I was kind of hoping we'd see Chase Mydroth today. He was one who was taken in the trade for Garrett Crochet.
Yes.
So looks like he could be a solid second baseman. We'll see.
As Luis Robert pops up to first base, so 2 out now in the bottom of the 4th inning.
He had 3 walks and a hit, but it looks like we'll have to wait till next inning, which will be 6-7 minutes from now. But he's no Luis Robert. 2 different players. It's like comparing a linebacker to an offensive lineman. Come on. 2 different players. He bats from the right side. But Luis Robert hasn't been impressive yet. We're hoping when the weather gets warm. That's why, like, all this, the Sox starting pitching looks good. It's like they haven't played in warm weather yet.
Yes.
And they're not going to play in warm weather for a while either. Their first 50-something games is either in around the Great Lakes region or on the East Coast. So it's going to be
Sosa lines out to end the inning. So heading to the top of the 5th now.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a podcast, so we can't mention that so far Garrett Crochet has not given up a hit.
We can mention that. Also, we can mention it in the hopes that maybe he gives one up.
Yes,
and I can hope that Shane
at this point would be
a home run to Alex Bregman as well, because I may or may not have a bet on that.
Oh boy, what was the bet? I wonder what the bet was on Garrett Crochet throwing a no-hitter.
That, I mean, the odds of that, especially in today's game, of him actually completing the no-hitter, I mean, that's got to be something like 100 to 1.
He has 46 pitches at this point. So
Right, but he's also like in today's game, you'll see a guy in the 6th inning get taken out
yeah.
with a no-hitter or with a perfect game going.
Early in the season too, they
Yeah.
just gave him what? Is it 170 million they gave him?
I think it's pretty close. Something like that. Checking right now.
We got
Production staff's on it.
Production staff is on it. Yeah, I mean, I thought this was going to be this kind of game, but sometimes in baseball, you're like, oh, this is going to be a pitcher's duel, and then you get to the game and it's 7 to 8,
You were
8 to
on it.
7.
6 years, 170.
6 years, 170. Yeah, and
The years would bother me as a fan. Would the years bother you? I don't like giving a pitcher that many years.
I don't. The White Sox, by rule, do not.
Well, the White Sox don't give anybody anything by
I
rule.
wouldn't put that as a rule. No, they don't. But they've given position players years before. I mean, Canero got 5 after being with the team for 5.
Well, they give Benintendi 75 over 12.
Yes, it seems like it. It's going to seem like 12 years, and he's hurt after starting off the season pretty hot.
They're going to pay you $5.2 million a year.
He started to decide that hitting home runs is better for his career, which was a good decision.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's not going to be out long, but yeah, that was something I hope would happen, and maybe you just trade him for a bag of balls just for get rid of the contract by the end of the year. But
so you want the White Sox to spend less money, and that's okay, but the Cubs.
Well, I would like the Sox to spend 0 money if they can on this team. Are you serious? Yeah, no, not yet. Not yet. Couple years, maybe, yes, with a different owner.
Yeah.
In which case,
yeah, definitely.
All that I'm hearing right now is that the Sox will not be selling. And I can't think of why.
What do you think the betting odds are that Jerry doesn't sell? Are we in minus money territory?
Are we talking about in this calendar year? Are we talking about, because it would have to be in this calendar year to get the owners ready, or at least as we flip over to 2026, it would have to be. Oh God, I wouldn't even guess that he's not going to.
Yeah,
I'd say 2-1 maybe.
Oof.
Because I don't think he's gonna sell, man.
Yeah, I mean,
White Sox live odds plus 175. You like that?
You could bet the White Sox right now plus 175 to win the game. Dude, you see the jerseys on look at the jersey right now for Campbell, the hitter for the Red Sox. It's like it looks like if it blows any harder, Campbell's gonna get lifted up into the second deck. Like, I mean, one run might win this game, so I mean,
yeah, he flied
plus
on
175. It's probably worth it. I mean, right? It's worth some small, maybe $50.
Shane Smith has a nasty.
Never mind. It was my sign to not bet it. As soon as I said that, they showed John Shriffen in the booth. So fade. Take the Red Sox.
Plus 300 for Ryan Sauce. So it's 3-1 for him to sell in 2025, which
that's wild. Did you actually find that, Doubting Thomas? Where'd you find that at? I'd like to bet that. I wonder what it is for him to sell.
He's a degenerate, so.
Oh, that's for him to sell is 3-1.
Yes, to sell. So not to sell would be 1-3.
Or you can just light the $50 on fire live on air. I mean, it's fair. It's fair. I did. Did you bet anything on the match? Did you do any Masters? You're not a golf guy, are you?
No, I watch golf.
Yeah,
I watch golf. I watched a little bit of the Masters, but no, I did not put anything on it. What was your 7-player parlay?
No, I took about 4 different guys on the win. I did have Justin Rose at 100-1 to win the tournament, and for the first 2 days, as he is leading this tournament, it looked really, really good. But Justin Rose is a guy who, like, I couldn't believe it was 100-1. I thought it was ridiculous.
Yeah, no, he's
He's
won a couple majors, at least one.
Yeah, he's won a couple majors, and he's finished twice at the Masters. He's finished in second twice. And he's never, I think 14 times or something like that, he's finished in the top 25. So I was like, it's worth something, 15
won
bucks
one
at
major.
100-1 is 1,500. So I was like, I'll throw something on it. It was looking really good for a couple of days, and then it just wasn't. Rory took over, but I do have Bryson DeChambeau at plus 1,600 to win this tournament. And he's sitting in second. I don't know where it's at now. I haven't turned it on to take a look, which I'll probably do here in just a minute as the White Sox are
going to the bottom of the 5th inning, and we're not even in an hour into the game.
Thank you, pitch clock.
Yeah.
Thank you, pitch clock.
Bryson is leading now.
Attaboy, Bryson.
What was that?
Go figure, Rory McIlroy.
When did you turn into a little girl?
What are you talking about?
You're like,
because I put actual money on things. Like I place sports wagers. Unlike you.
I play sports wagers. Look, Dad.
Okay, this is what we're doing.
This
is
is
what we're gonna do. Because you don't have the balls to get on and put money on and win some money and do some things because you run a sports podcast. The same way Jerry Reinsdorf runs a baseball team. Unbelievable.
Are we gonna talk about Iowa?
We can talk. I took my daughter to
go by the Field of Dreams Park.
The University of Iowa. We did
across the bases and act like you were Tim Anderson.
No.
Sure, Tim Anderson goes back there and cries.
Because that's down in Davenport. So no. But also same thing with I was thinking about taking it in Iowa. I did not realize that Iowa was that big. But apparently where the University of Iowa is at in Iowa City, Des Moines is actually a 2.5-hour drive from there. So I did not go see the Iowa Cubs play. But I did take my daughter to the campus.
About
University of Iowa was because look, we were taking my daughter down for a visit, and she's got a cousin who already goes to the University of Iowa. So she was planning on hanging out with her and spending the night and seeing what it's like in a dorm and all that stuff. Yeah. So I was like, oh, well, what are we gonna do for the night? And I was like, oh, maybe we could take in an Iowa Cubs game, but for $8, I mean, why not, right?
Yeah.
But no, it's too far of a drive. And my daughter, she loved the campus. She loved the Aubrey loved going to the campus. She loved, obviously hanging out with her cousin. They did go out, they had a good time. I told her, make sure that she stays out of trouble, but have a good time and be careful. And then the next morning she's talking to me and she goes, do you know Caleb Johnson? And I was like, yeah, why? And she's like, oh, well, because we were hanging out, he started hitting on me. I said, what? And she's like, yeah. She's like, but she's like, no. She's like, he's really nice. He didn't know how old I was. He thought I was a freshman at the school. And she's like, as soon as I told him how old I was, he backed off and made sure that nobody bothered me the rest of the night. She's like, he was actually really nice. And I was like, oh, okay. I said, good. I was like, well, hopefully the Bears will draft my new son-in-law. But
wow.
But no, she loved the University of Iowa. She loved hanging out and seeing the campus. It's a beautiful, beautiful campus, man.
I'm sure.
Like walking around, doing the tour. We went out, we took her cousin out to eat for dinner. We walked around. She showed us a bunch of stuff. We went and saw the football stadium. And so it was a good time. It was a lot of fun, and Aubrey loved it, and she's going to be applying to go there here relatively soon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So what's happening?
Yeah, I mean, she's going to apply. We're going to have to see, obviously what the costs are. I told her, out of state costs
Yeah.
Tuition is insane. I said, so I start working on some scholarships, see what we can get, see what we can do. But yeah, no, she loved it, and I mean that's been her number one choice here for a little while now. She wants to get into the medical field. So on the tour, she was happy that she had no clue about the tradition of the football wave to the children's hospital. So and that's what she wants to work. She wants to work with kids in the medical field. She wants to be an occupational therapist. And so it was a good tour. Pretty cool time to see the hospital overlooking the football field was pretty cool. I definitely want to take in a game, be a part of that. I mean, it's the best tradition in all of college sports. So,
Doubting Thomas said he told her to call when she turns 18. Chase Mydroth is up.
yeah, I told her she can call him back when she turns 18 too. Right after I get off the phone with Megan.
Oh boy.
What?
What is wrong with you?
What do you mean? What's wrong with me? He's talking about my 17-year-old daughter. At least I'm talking about an adult who happens to want to see me mow lawn and
struck out. So
Chase Mydroth.
Chase Mydroth is not going to get a hit, at least this time around. Crochet is through 5 innings, no hits, no walks, 7 strikeouts. Yeah, it's one of those games. Shane Smith got 3 hits and a walk, but no runs for him either.
We're through 5 with 3 hits total in this game. No
yes,
runs.
Good times.
Yeah, we picked some great games to cover.
I like good pitching duels.
Yeah, we couldn't have done this last night during 16 runs in LA.
Yeah, but after like the 3rd inning, we would have just been like, at least there's some.
I actually turned the game off, I think, in the 7th. I think it was 7-0. I was like, this game's over. I was busy.
With the Cubs bullpen, you thought it was over. That's interesting. Because they were up 7-0 in the same state. Oh no, San Diego was that a home? Was that in Wrigley?
First of all, it was 6-2.
I thought it was 7-0.
No, 6-2, and then they lost 10-6. And it was 6-2 heading into the bottom of the 8th. Yeah. It was 6-2 heading into the bottom of the 8th in a game where they did not even have to hit in the bottom of the 9th. Yeah, that happened. But look, I mean, those types of things happen over the course of a season sometimes. I mean, even
they do.
But look, this Cubs bullpen is still pretty ugly. You know what I mean? Like, it's still pretty bad. So Ryan Presley's not a closer. You can't be a pitch to contact guy in today's.
It's very rare.
And be a closer.
It's very rare.
You can be a pitch to contact guy as a starter if you're trying to get through 5 or 6 innings. You cannot be a pitch to contact guy and be a closer. You have to be a strikeout guy. You have to be able to miss bats. And Ryan Presley just is not that anymore. He used to be that during his good years in 2017, 2018 with the Astros. He's not that anymore.
I'm not going to say he didn't strike out a hell of a lot of people because he did. But Mariano Rivera did. I wouldn't say he totally pitched to contact, but that cutter was so good. I mean, there'd be like every other batter would break his bat on it.
Yeah.
Or not be able to hit it. But I mean, that's just that guy was a freak. That's a different human being there.
Yeah.
Ryan Presley is not him, but yeah, you got to strike people out. You pretty much have to if you're going to be a closer, because you're going to be facing guys that are going all out.
Shane Smith just struck out Jaron Duran. Speaking of strikeouts,
yeah.
Too bad. Shane
got a
Smith
1.06 ERA.
He's been good. He's been good.
It's a good story.
I still don't believe his name is Shane Smith, though.
No.
Not for
Probably
1
not.
second. Holy cow, is the wind playing tricks with the ball right now. Andrew Vaughn was camped under it near the first base bag and had to run and caught it like maybe 15 feet in front of the plate. I mean, he was beyond the bag when he and then he's in front of the mound when he catches it. He was behind the bag, almost in the outfield grass, and had to run in front of the mound and make
Yeah.
the wind has been. I mean, it's windy as hell outside. It's windy as hell. I was out there mowing the lawn earlier before we came on.
Speedo on.
I did not have the Speedo on. Had a jacket and jeans.
You lied to me. You said your finger was a gun.
There's Iowa.
There's Iowa. We should go there sometime. We should make a trip, go down to Iowa.
Yeah, I guess they're not having
That's
games
really
there
great.
anymore. What the hell happened with that?
Look, baseball is
Rob
stupid.
Manfred hates baseball.
Yeah. He's
And
like,
which
he's
is
got
fine.
this
You can
great
hate
thing that
baseball.
everybody loves. And if you weren't going to do it every year, you
You
need
can
to
hate
just stop
baseball.
after
Just don't be
the
the
first-
commissioner of baseball.
Yeah.
You hate baseball.
And if you were going to stop doing it, you should have stopped it after the first year, not after the second year, where you had some awkward freaking Cubs and Reds game there that made no sense whatsoever.
Bregman got a single. That's not a home run.
And that's not a home run. You're correct. Last
That's
time I
a
checked,
single.
a single is not a home run. Actually, 3 less bases on that hit.
Bregman batting.
home
He's
run.
batting 294 now, though.
Yeah.
That's almost double
thanks for being the
double.
analyst, John Madden.
That's almost double.
He got a single. That is not a home run.
I'm just saying. I don't want you to get excited because you had him hitting a home run, and he's got almost double the batting average that Matt Shaw has. Just telling you.
You're worse than the play-by-play lady over in Oakland.
Just telling you.
Hey now. When he hits the ball, he hits it a long way.
When he hits a home run, it goes over the fence.
There's no look. I give John Triffin a lot of stuff, and
Triffy,
the girl in Oakland, and there are a lot of really good female
no, you're a
analysts and
chauvinist
play-by-play
pig.
players.
Just
No,
be a
no,
damn chauvinist
because-
pig if you're going to. You've been married 100 times. Like,
Okay.
doesn't. Sorry.
The one in Oakland,
Yeah.
is a tough listen. A tough
Everything
listen.
about Oakland is tough.
Well,
Well, they're not in Oakland anymore.
In Oakland, yeah. Now they're in somewhere in California, soon to be Las Vegas. Maybe Las Vegas might decide they don't want the adoption. I don't know. See Las Vegas. Have you ever seen a kid who's about to get adopted, and as he's walking out of the orphanage, gets told no? Could you imagine that if you're the A's?
Oh,
If you're halfway to Vegas, you're playing in a AAA stadium, and then Vegas is like,
eh,
we're gonna go a different
there's the door.
route. it's just I don't know. Man. I don't know. And the problem is that like they play good baseball, and that's a franchise that's rich with history too. I mean, the A's were a hell of a franchise for a very long time.
Yep.
A
lot of good teams.
Yeah. So I don't know. You know what I mean? Like it's tough. If you're an A's fan, and it's sad to see what that owner has done to that franchise. And as a White Sox fan, I'm sure you can relate.
Yes, I can. There's a lot of parallels, except for the Sox were in a juggernaut in the 70s.
Yeah,
a lot of bad teams in the 70s. But looks like maybe Shane Smith's losing it here.
Ooh, that one's off the wall. I thought that one was getting out.
Yep. And we got 2 runs in. That might pretty much end the game there. You
Well,
might
they've
want
got
to
2
pack it
more
in.
runs than the White Sox have hits.
You might want to
So
pack
that's
it.
a
You might want to pack it in now.
Oh, relax, Harry.
Hey, everybody.
Oh God. So Bulls are going to be in the play-in game this week.
Oh, yes. You call it the playoffs. It's not the playoffs, but that's what you call it.
It is the playoffs.
It's not the playoffs. Sorry. It's the play-in game before the playoffs.
It's the
That's why
playoffs.
they call it the play-in game. Just telling you.
You're right.
Just saying. Playing the Heat again, huh?
They are playing the Heat again. I mean, does it matter? Even if they win, like let's say they end up as the 8th seed. Let's
It
say
does
they
matter because they're not getting any. I mean, they have no chance of getting a high draft pick once again. So it does matter. That's how it matters. That they're
But-
going
yeah, but I mean, if you
to be in
get
the plan.
I don't know. I mean,
There's going to be in the play-on games until Aubrey graduates from Iowa
that's
and marries Caleb Johnson.
Oh.
And I'll be officiating that wedding. by the
So
way.
you are correct, actually. The NBA play-in tournament is not considered part of the NBA playoffs. It's a separate event held before the playoffs to determine the final 2 playoff seeds in each conference. It is a preliminary tournament to the playoffs.
Come on.
Preliminary tournament to the playoffs. I thought that was the in-season tournament.
The last Chicago team to be in the playoffs just got off having the worst season in the history of the league that they play in. And their league's been around for
It's not
quite a
true.
bit.
The Chicago Sky won a championship while we were our team. Are they a Chicago team? Are they a Chicago team? They're a Chicago team. The WNBA matters, you sexist pig.
This is what we're doing now.
The WNBA, are you telling me that the WNBA doesn't count?
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
Are you Ryan Fitzgibbons?
Answer that question.
Are you Ryan Fitzgibbons?
Answer that question.
I care, sir. I care who they're going to take in the
This
draft
is
next
all
week.
fake. This is all fake.
What are you talking about?
Counting Thomas, the WNBA 100% doesn't count. The 4 major male sports, the 4 sports where you weren't, taking a flight commercial for the lion's share of your time as a league.
Notre Dame made a playoff.
What does that mean?
Don't they count as a Chicago team or not?
No.
I figured Southside. I mean,
You just don't want it to be the White
Notre
Sox. Is
Dame.
what's happening. You just don't want it to be the
No,
White
I just want us to have more than one playoff team since we started a podcast.
Yes.
Let's start a podcast based off Chicago sports. Oh, great idea.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic idea. Let's talk about this shit week after
Yeah,
week after
it
week.
gets old after a while.
And then let's do a watch party in
Yeah.
which they get killed by team after team
Who
after
knows?
team.
Who
Every time
knows?
we do a
Maybe
watch
Garrett Crochet was sitting for a while, and I don't know. Maybe he trips and falls walking.
Are you calling the breakup right here? Is that what you're calling?
Yeah, maybe they'll break up the no-hitter this inning. Are the White Sox going to get a hit today? Looks like we woke up my brother John.
Somebody had to.
John, it doesn't look good. I don't know if you bet Crochet to get a no-hitter, but Combs had that as 100-1. It had to be more than 100-1, but I don't know, against the Sox, maybe 100-1.
I wonder what it would have been. I'm gonna see if let me see if I can find these odds
It
here.
starts to get real once you get into the 7th inning. So I'm gonna go out on a limb here and make a prediction. The Sox get a hit this inning. They're at the bottom of their order though, so which you can guess is pretty bad. But Brooks Baldwin had the game-winning hit in yesterday's game.
Is this now? Here's the question: is this a no-hitter or is this a perfect game?
It's a perfect game right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Perfect game right now. No walks, no hits, no runs, and no hope for the Sox this year. I'm turning into Bob Uecker as slowly. I'm aging like him too watching this team. It's 10-1 right now. F Doubting Thomas is booking.
I was looking about it. I was looking it up before the game.
Doubting Thomas has it at 10-1 right now.
So it was 375-1 before the game.
Crochet I think just walked somebody.
He did just walk somebody, but it was 375-1 before the game for him to throw a perfect game, and it was 150-1 for him to throw a no-hitter.
You weren't that off.
No, 150-1 for a no-hitter though. That's still intact, even though the perfect game is gone. Let's see if that remains intact, or if you pulled the perfect jinx.
I could have. Tried to.
How do you pronounce this guy's name? Is it Thais? 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 I don't think you know. I think you just.
Here we go.
I firmly believe this is the first White Sox game that you've actually watched this year.
He's like their fourth catcher. No, I've watched too many. That I don't want to admit how many I've watched.
Nobody does.
I was watching the Talkman game.
So
that was, and I was like, I've watched quite easily. I mean, the guy's throwing home, but
yeah,
he would have scored pretty easily, and he did not score easily. He pulled his hamstring easily.
That was tough.
I'm just saying, I've never seen a team get hurt this much running, which is usually what you do in sports.
Yeah.
In most sports, you run. We're not talking hockey, golf. I mean, I'm sure John Daly got hurt running for another old style. Jack a few times, but running.
That's crazy.
It's like pretty basic. I've never hurt myself running. I don't think.
I'll give you 1,000,000,000 to 1 Doubting Thomas. I'll give you 1,000,000,000 to 1 that he does not throw no.
Whoa.
I think Amaya is going to break it up right here.
What? We're on Amaya watch too.
Amaya. I think Amaya breaks it up right here. It's always the guy you would never expect to do it. Oh. That one went foul.
Yeah.
But he made contact, which is more than I was betting on.
Yes.
I'll take $5 at 100 to 1.
At some point, one of the other middle infielders for the Sox have to come up, and Jesus Christ, maybe a catcher too. Now that Corey Lee got hurt, it's like Kyle Teal, Eddie Carroll, anybody?
Yeah.
I mean, I think after a couple of weeks, they don't have to worry about time.
Yeah, look, this is where games like this are where the pitch clock really helps out Major League Baseball, right? Because you're bottom of the 6th now. We're an hour and 20 minutes into this game.
Yeah.
In the bottom of the 6th inning.
Even the opening day game, there was, the Sox scored some runs. There's a lot of guys on base. and that game went by in like 2 hours and 20 minutes, 2.5 hours, something like that.
Yeah.
Michelle's, you got to go, don't you?
No, I don't gotta go.
You got to go.
I don't gotta go. It's not how it works. It's not how any of this works.
2 outs. Mamiya struck out.
I was wrong.
He made contact. It was a long at bat.
Yeah,
Back to
he
the
made
top.
him work. Crochet's at 72 pitches now.
Yeah. Maybe he'll get out of there. Something great will
We'll
happen.
see. We'll see. Who's
So-
who's the leadoff hitter?
Miguel Vargas.
Vargas. All right, come on, Vargas.
I forget what trade that was, but he was the centerpiece of that trade. Hasn't played a lot in the majors. Hasn't done well in the majors either, but they have high hopes for him.
That ball was 96 right down the middle, and Vargas made it look like he was swinging at a changeup. What the hell?
He does have some deception on his pitches as well as throwing like really.
That was 96 down the pipe. There's no deception on 96 down the middle of the zone.
Deception when you're with your windup. There is, yeah. No matter where you throw the ball.
Okay, all right. This is what we're doing.
This is what we're doing. How many times are you going to say this is what we're doing? Or did I start that?
That you started it. You started it.
You are and always have been penis cancer in human form.
That's what you should have said to Caleb Johnson. Here we go. And we're at the end of the 6th.
We are. Crochet pitches out of it, gets another strikeout. Still no hits through 6 for Garrett Crochet.
9 strikeouts.
Perfect game is gone, though.
9 strikeouts.
How deep do they let him go?
How many perfect games has there been?
He's at 76 pitches.
Are we at 30 perfect games yet in the history?
I think there's been. Don't want to misspeak. I think there's been 32. I could be
24 perfect games in MLB history.
24.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. It's crazy how hard it is to throw a perfect game.
Yeah. And that's what makes actually Mark Burley's.
You would figure the Sox would have given up 24 of those last year.
I know. And that's why the Mark Burley perfect game is so insane, because he wasn't a strikeout pitcher by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
He strike out a guy or two. He had some good off speed stuff, but the guy's throwing.
Well, it was a couple of nice defensive plays in that game, too.
Yes. Dwayne Wise.
Oh, Dwayne Wise.
Josh Fields at third, who could not really even play third base, had no business out there.
Yep.
You did have Nick Swisher playing center. So Dwayne Wise came in the 9th inning to take out Swisher. Swisher was not a center fielder, but he was in center field for 8 innings.
Yeah.
So there's that. 24 perfect games. Is that Tootie from Phoenix Alive? Are you just looking through pictures now? Is this what you're going to do? I at least feigned excitement when we watched the Cubs game, when we had to watch the Cubs watch party.
Dude, we're watching the Sox get no hit through 6 innings.
I learned long ago to ram it just right. You can ram it all day and ram it all night. Ram it.
Ram it. Better than the Super Bowl shuffle or not? I mean, you've already said on this show that you wouldn't take Barry Sanders at number 10. Is that song better than the platinum Super Bowl shuffle?
It's more catchy. It's more catchy just because of how fun and the implications in the song.
The implications are weird.
We're just gonna ram it all day and ram it all night.
All night. I mean, I guess at that time in the 80s, we were still sort of an innocent culture.
They didn't
The
play night
internet
games
wasn't
back
around
then.
yet. I mean, but I
They
still
didn't play night games back then, though.
Who?
The NFL.
What does that mean?
They didn't play Sunday night games. They played all day games back then.
Yeah, but what are you?
Ram it all day and ram it all night. You know he wasn't talking about on the football field.
Well, they played Monday Night Football.
How many times do you think the Rams
They
were
had
on
night
Monday Night
games
Football?
back then. They had night games back then.
Not like they have
They
now.
played Monday Night Football. I know they
They
did.
played Monday night. When did Monday Night Football start? In the 80s, right?
70s, pretty late 70s. Howard Cosell was doing Monday Night Football games when it started. He's been dead a long time.
1970.
1970. There you go.
The Cleveland Browns and the New York
Been
Jets.
ramming it all night. They could have rammed it all night on Monday Night Football. That is a good point, though. I'm sure the guys were joking around about the song. But back then we were a pretty innocent country. You couldn't get away with that now.
No.
You can't have Tyreek Hill up there talking about how he's gonna ram it all day and ram it all night. That wouldn't have worked. He'd have another one of his houses burned down after he sang that. Because Tyreek Hill's house burnt down and they said it was his kid, and it was obvious it wasn't his kid. Thank you, Doubting Thomas.
From 1970, there were no night games other than Monday Night Football until 1978.
Oh, there you go.
When they started airing Thursday Night Football and Sunday Night Football occasionally. They were billed as special editions of Monday Night Football. And it was only occasionally. It wasn't weekly.
It's hard for people to even for me, because by the time I started watching football, it was already starting to get big. But just how small football was, even in the 70s.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's not the number one sport back then. Now it's just like football never ends.
Oh, when football's on, during football season, what's the only night of the week that you can't find football is what? Tuesdays, right? Because college football starts on Wednesdays now. They have the Wednesday Maction. The MAC plays on Wednesdays. You have Thursday.
So people just day drink all the time. Pretty much.
Pretty much. But they were ramming it all day and ramming it all night.
They were, yes. And some of that was probably date. Never mind.
He says ramming it all day. I mean,
yes, he could have been ramming it in the day.
Yeah, for sure.
What about Eric Dicker?
The guys call me Dick instead of Dick the son. I lead the Rangers, I'm the Rams top gun. They say I'm as smooth as a runner can be. Even sweetness and the others are talking about me. I like to dance and have a lot of fun. When it comes to ladies, want a brainy one. But enough about me, we'll hit a ram it, you see. If you ram it just right, you can ram it all night. Ram it.
Comes to the ladies. Hold on. He said, and I quote, "When it comes to the ladies, I want a brainy one.
What?
And if you ram it just right, you can ram it all night."
That is a total lie. He does not want a brainy. He proves he's lying just like a second later. He's like a kid with chocolate all over his mouth that says he didn't eat the chocolate. And that is not a racial slur. Wow. He's just a sicko. Doubting Thomas, I have ram it in my playlist named Bedroom.
And here's a question for you, Fitzy.
This is my response.
Question I need you to answer for me here, Fitz.
I don't want to answer it.
When he's in the bedroom, who's he in the bedroom with? Could you answer that for the audience who doesn't know?
No, I'm not going to answer that. He's in the bedroom by
it would be your
himself, with a
sister.
crying into a towel.
It would be your sister.
Did he say he put the dick in Dickerson?
He did. No, what he said was the guys call me Dick, not Dickerson. Is what he said.
The guys call me Dick instead of Dickerson. I lead the Rangers, I'm the Rams top gun. They say I'm as smooth as a runner can be, even sweetness and the others are talking about me. I like to dance and have a lot of fun. When it comes to ladies, want a brainy one, but I'm never by.
The guys call me Dick instead of Dickerson.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then he makes a joke about sweetness. Walter Payton. Combs wouldn't take Eric Dickerson before round 5. Well, he is one of the best running backs ever to play. So yeah, okay. Counting the days until Dick fits. Shoves up the Cubs' ass. Shoves it up the Cubs' ass.
Isn't that the name of the Isn't that the Red Sox pitcher? Isn't his last name? Isn't it Richard Fitz? What is his name? I know his last name is Fitz, Fitts.
Yes, Richard Fitz.
Yeah.
Dick Fitz.
Dick
Full
Fitz.
name. Richard Logan Fitz.
Best name in all of sports right now. Richard Fitz.
Richard Fitz. How's he playing? How you doing, Dickie?
Yeah. How's the dick fitting right now?
How's the dick working right now? Do you like brainy ones? I like brainy ones. What a fucking liar.
We're headed to the bottom of the 7th now, and Garrett Crochet still has a no-hitter. Red Sox got out of it. They picked off.
Like gracefully leave this broadcast or this kind of broadcast, but now I kind of can't.
Well, we can't end it until the no-hitter's gone.
Yeah, I know.
Once the no-hitter's gone, we'll go ahead and get off. Like the Rams. Oh God. Ram it all.
Big Bad Jackie and I'm starting this off. The Rams get down so nobody scoff. And don't you worry cause the Rams are rapping. When game time comes, we'll be back to Jackson. We can't sing and our dance is not pretty, but we'll do our best for the team and the city. So get on your feet and clap your hands. Let's ram it right now with the LA Rams.
Hollywood handsome, Dodge City tough. If you throw it my way, it's gonna get rough. I like to ram it, as you can see. Nobody likes ramming any more than me.
They call me Jeter, nobody dresses sweeter. But under this cool is a quarterback mistreater. I come from the air, looking for the sack. I don't stop coming till I put them on the back. This is limousine with it, my moves are like dreams. They call me the demon on special teams. I know how to rock from the toes to the head. When I pull the trigger, I'll knock you dead.
I'm a mountain man from West VA. They call me Herc and I came to play. I learned long ago to ram it just right. You can ram it all day and ram it all night.
I'm just saying, there's no way Limousine Willie didn't have syphilis.
I don't stop coming. Put them on their back. What are we doing?
Jared, that's what
my God. That's got to be the best. That's definitely better than the Super Bowl Shuffle. Definitely. I mean, I look. I love the Super Bowl Shuffle. I love the Bears. I love that team. But I mean, wow. I don't stop coming till I put them on their back. Truthfully, when I start coming, but God.
I wonder what Limousine Willie's doing right now.
He's probably in the grave due to gonosyphilis.
Yes. Or CTE. Let's be honest.
Unreal. This is... Dude, let me ask you a question. These videos of players getting told that they're going to the major leagues or that they make a team, are they getting out of hand?
Yeah.
They're showing the Chase Mydroth one right now of him getting the call up.
You think he knew he has his bat in his hand and his gloves on?
I don't think he knew, but like I think players have they know that it's going to be soon, so they're not as surprised as you would like them to be in some of these videos. Like the one with Cam Smith, which did you see the one with Cam Smith where his whole family comes into the locker room?
Oh, yes.
Like, if I'm a player in that locker room, what am I thinking? Like, what is so special about this kid that we're gonna bring his family in
Yeah.
to tell him that he's made it to the, you know what I mean?
Maybe the family was already there. It was kind of like,
And he starts crying, which I understand. Like that's the emotion that you expect to see, right? I mean, because that's how most of us would react if we got told that we're going to play Major League Baseball.
just give the one. And actually, Will Venable has a good speech to him. Or not Will Venable. It's Sergio Garcia, who was the old closer for the Sox.
Yeah.
Who went from shortstop to closer and, was a closer in the league for a while, setup guy.
Right.
Has a good speech to him, but yeah. The kids don't know what to say.
Happened on the Masters? DeChambeau was leading at 11 under, while McElroy was down to 10 under, and now all of a sudden I just looked at it, and Bryson is now at 9 under, and McElroy is back up to 12 under. Oh man, Bryson crapping down his leg.
Yeah.
See where Scotty's at. Scotty Scheffler, he's like a freaking ghost that doesn't go away. Ooh, Justin Rose is creeping back up. He's at 7 under, only 5 off with how much to play? He's through 8. But Bryson and Rory are battling it out, though. They're only through 5, so.
Luis Robert got out. He's batting a robust 167 this year. Had a home run a couple games ago. Let's hope he's getting out of it.
Lenine Sosa going to break it up?
Jared does not like the golf talk. He said, "Smell you later, fellas." Keep up the good work.
How can you not like the Masters?
Yeah, Robert struck out, by the way. I don't know if you
Yeah.
You just
How about Lenine Sosa? Can he break it up here, you think?
He hits the ball hard.
I'm going to say no because he just struck out a 98-mile-an-hour fastball up and out of the zone.
Andrew Vaughn could, even though he's batting a robust 98. Yes, you heard that right. He's batting 98.
Batting his waistline.
You call it 098, but
yeah,
let's just call it 98.
They are so scripted now. What's scripted?
The when the guys are told that they're going up to the majors.
Oh yeah. No, it's those videos are. I mean, they're just starting to get out of hand. It's crazy, and you watch them, and then some of them like they get told it.
On 3-0 count.
No reaction. So I fully believe that they have.
Crochet's still in. Downing Thomas.
Yeah, Crochet's still in. With
88 pitches.
87 pitches. 88 pitches now. So we'll see if
they'll throw it at 98, 99 miles an hour.
Yeah. He's locking and loaded. Downing Thomas probably can't see it because it's on CHSN and half of Chicago is blacked out. Downing Thomas is in Michigan though, right?
He's in Michigan, yes.
Is
basically
do you have CHSN out there, or do you have to pay for the app?
Thomas? Yeah, do you get the Sox game?
Or do you pay for the app?
And that's the end
or
of the
are you on YouTube TV? And Garrett Crochet, no through 7.
So you got a guy, you're paying him $170 million. You know what question I'm going to ask? He's got 90 pitches pitched. He's going into the 8th inning. How far do you take this thing? I take it till, he gives up the hit at this point. I mean, he could get through this in 110 pitches.
That's a lot of pitches in today's
Andrew Vaughn would be the guy I would think would get a hit. Just because he does strike out a lot, but not.
He might not get another at bat.
A lot. He's not. No, that's why he's done. And now we're at the bottom half of the Sox lineup. You got Michael Taylor. You got Chase Mydroth, who walks a lot. He's a young kid.
I do like the young in these situations. I do like the young kids that don't know anything.
And then Brooks Baldwin doesn't know anything. He's already walked. He's the guy that broke up the perfect game now. The only walk of the game.
Mydroth is young enough to bunt for it or to break it up.
Yeah, he is.
In a two-run game, do you have a problem with a bunt to break up a no-hitter? In a two-run game.
In a two-run game. Yeah, I mean, anything's on the table for me. You want to win a game?
I don't have a problem.
Baseball game?
If it's 11-0 in the 8th inning and I'm throwing a no-hitter and you bunt to break it up, you're a jag-off. But in a two-run game, you're still trying to win a baseball game.
Yeah.
If I get on base and the guy behind me hits a home run, we're tied.
Yeah.
So I'll do whatever I got to do to throw you off of your rhythm and make you pitch out of the stretch for the first time.
John says, come on, Sox, ram it to Crochet.
You ram it all day and ram it all night.
I learned long ago to ram it just right. You can ram it all day and ram it all night.
I feel sorry for that guy's wife.
Dickerson one where the guys call me Dick instead of Dickerson.
The guys call me Dick instead of Dickerson. I lead the Rangers on the Rams top gun. They say I'm as smooth as a runner can be, even sweetness than the others are talking about me. I like to dance and have a lot of fun. When it comes to ladies, want a brainy one. But enough about me, we're here to ram it, you see. If you ram it just right, you can ram it all night. Ram it. Do you know how to ram it?
Do you know how to ram it?
I just what is with the dancing?
I
don't
know.
I'll tell you this. People can say stuff about
what year was that created?
About that's 1985.
Okay. All right.
People could say stuff about YouTube and how movies are kind of done and how entertainment is taking a hit because everybody, kind of does what we're doing right now. But entertainment's a lot better now than it was back then.
It is.
Christ.
It's unbelievable. It was just. I mean, but the things that you could see back then, even on TV, like the things that they could say, the things that you would see. I mean, it was just different. I mean, how many times in Sanford and Son, if you ever watched that show, did they drop the N-word?
Yeah, or set stuff that you can. Yeah, no, there is stuff that you could say back then that you can't say.
Space.
I don't know why I hit that.
What the hell?
You could say space.
That's Star Trek?
Yes.
What the hell?
Space. The final frontier.
It's the final frontier. It was in one of my Fitzgibberishes. You actually laughed, I think.
That's not a shock.
It explains every Fitzgibberish I've had.
There's a lot of things that have been your Fitzgibberish. How many times have you wrote in a Fitzgibberish after ramming it?
It's the wrong question. While ramming
it. Slower, babe. I gotta finish this paragraph. Hold on. Oh God. Let's see if Boozer here can give up a tater to Bregman. Is that Carlos Boozer?
No. I couldn't make a layup.
So he went to pitching. All right, so 1-1 to Bregman here. 2-0, top of the 8th. Crochet still throwing a no-no, and Bregman grounds out to short in the inning. So we go to the bottom of the 8th. See if Crochet can keep it going. Let's see if he even comes out for the bottom half of the 8th.
90 pitches? Do you not take him out? Do you, the same guy who does not take Barry Sanders?
I never take a pitcher. I don't like the idea of taking a pitcher out with any type of no hitter or perfect game. I mean, it's history.
There is some times where you have a rookie pitcher or whatever. He's got 120 pitches in the sixth.
Because it's less.
Take him out.
It's less like I've had times where you're watching a no hitter. They're in the 7th inning, 8th inning, and they take the guy out and they bring in the bullpen. I just turn the game off. Even if you complete the no hitter, I don't care. Like, is it the same? Does it mean the same for a team to throw a combined no hitter as opposed to a pitcher doing it himself?
No.
No.
That doesn't mean much of anything to me, really. I mean, a guy pitches 6-7 innings and then the bullpen doesn't get. I mean, there's a lot of games where the bullpen doesn't give up a hit in the last couple of innings because they're fresh. Especially nowadays, you got a bullpen coming in throwing 101, 102, 105 miles an hour.
So let me throw this at you. You know, nowadays they have like bullpen games, right? Which tonight might be one for the Cubs where they're starting Colin Ray, where you have an opener, and you have a guy who pitches the first 2 innings, and then you have a guy that comes in and he's going to eat up the next 5, and then you'll use the rest of your bullpen after that. If a no hitter happens that way, are you okay with it? Because that was the design of the game.
That's pretty impressive. If you have like 5 bullpen arms that don't give up a hit, and then you got the guy who pitched 4 innings in without a hit, that's more impressive. Yeah.
Or what if it's just a guy who comes in, pitches the first 2, doesn't give up a hit, and then another guy comes in and finishes it off with 7 and throws a no hitter? You know what I mean? Like, to me, it just doesn't have the same thing as Garrett Crochet pitching a no hitter, who is out in 1 pitch in now.
Yeah, Taylor fouled out.
And Ozzy looks like he is freezing his what off at the stadium.
There's been 24 perfect games. How many no hitters do you think there's been?
67?
326.
Wow.
That's how rare a perfect game is, man.
Yeah. But I mean, when you think about it, 326 in the 100-and-something year history of baseball,
100
at 162 games a year still is pretty rare.
Yeah.
So Crochet now with a 1-1 count. Mydroth is at the dish. Mydroth swings a 96-mile-an-hour heater right at the waist.
Didn't turn out too good.
No, he was about 5 minutes too late on that swing. I would just give it to him again, and he did. This one a little bit lower. Mydroth falls it off. 1-2 count to Mydroth.
Looks like he could be a decent player. Probably going to be a second baseman.
And Mydroth rounds it, and he breaks up the no-no.
Wow.
Chase Mydroth. We said it.
We did.
Mydroth is just young enough to break up the no-no, and he does so. So now in the bottom of the 8th, I mean, that was a clean single, too. Nothing cheap about that.
Nope.
Clean single for Chase Mydroth.
He didn't have to bunt it. We were asking if he should have bunted the ball, and now you got really tying runs at the plate. Now,
yep.
All of a sudden,
Crochet knew he had a no-no too, and now they immediately take Crochet out of the game.
Real? Yeah, you're about a second or 2 ahead of me. Yeah, you take him out now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. 91 pitches. I mean, look, good game. Let the bullpen take it from here. See what you can do. In today's
11 strikeouts, one hit.
In today's game, it's also rare. It's becoming just as rare to see your pitcher take you into the 8th inning as it is to see him have a perfect game.
Yeah, 96 pitches, 65 for strikes. God, I thought he threw more strikes than that. Sometimes
it seems like he did.
Off.
For only allowing 1 base runner so far? Well, now 2.
Yeah.
Seiya Suzuki is injured as well. Injured his wrist. Apparently, he injured his wrist in Texas.
One of the better hitters on the team.
He has been.
Maybe the number 2.
He's also. I think he's been a miss though. He's another miss for Jed, if you ask me.
Well, if he's not going to play the outfield, if he's going to play 30, 40 games in the outfield a year,
Yeah.
You can get a DH who's going to DH for you and bat pretty good near Seiya Suzuki for less money. Yeah, a guy who's, you were hoping was going to be a better right fielder. You had to go out and trade for a right fielder. That's how good Seiya Suzuki was. Kept out and looked lost out there sometimes.
He did. I have to find a replacement for my fantasy team now for the short term.
We are all super worried about your fantasy team as Garrett Whitlock comes in with a 3 ERA, 10 Ks this year so far.
If you're not worried about my fantasy team, I question your loyalty, sir.
No comment.
What are you going to say?
No comment.
Okay. All right. I see where your loyalties lie, sir.
I just couldn't do baseball fantasy. It's just, there's a lot of games, man.
It is a lot of games, and it's a lot to take care of, but I love it. As the Sox now have runners on second and third. Chase Mydroth.
Yeah. Baldwin.
First and a second.
Well, Brooks Baldwin, I don't think you would put him as a rookie. I don't think he's technically not a rookie anymore, but doesn't have a whole lot of at-bats in his career.
Yeah, Mydroth drew the throw to third, and that allowed him to get to second. So runners on second and third now. Boy, that ball beat him, but it got by the third baseman, Bregman. That ball beat him by quite a bit, too. If Bregman catches that, he's out by 15 feet.
Well, if the Sox make it into extra innings, maybe you still have a chance on that Bregman bet.
Let's see. That's fair. Let's see if Thias can even things up here. 1 out, still 2. So good chance here for the White Sox to come back. Garrett Whitlock, the reliever, who came in to replace. Was it Garrett Whitlock? He was a White Sox too, wasn't he? My mistake. I thought he was.
I don't think so.
It's funny. Garrett replaces Garrett, though. Let me see here.
Boston.
Oh, he's been in Boston his entire career.
So.
Huh. I don't know why that name sounded so familiar.
He had some good years. 1.96 ERA last year.
Yeah, he's been good out of the bullpen.
But at 73 innings and 21, and had a 1.96 ERA too.
And there's a base hit. This might tie the game.
Let's go.
Don't pull up lame. Don't pull up. Runners on first and third. 2-1 now. Still only 1 out. Runners on first and third. Sox coming back. They just needed to get that first hit.
Amaya coming up to bat. I don't know about this.
Would you pinch hit here?
With who?
That's what I'm saying.
He's
I
batting.
don't know about this.
He's batting a robust 114.
Suicide. Do you have the balls to suicide squeeze here?
I guess. I guess you can.
I mean, why not?
Yeah.
What do you got to lose? Just one more ball game? Be worth a shot.
Ball was just hit too hard.
They did pinch run for Theis. Teus,
So
whatever you want to make up.
Crochet did. That'll close the book on Crochet. He did give up a run.
Yeah. Technically speaking.
That's his run.
Sometimes too, that's the argument against taking a guy out after he just barely gives up a no-hitter.
Yeah, give him a shot.
Yeah. Ooh, takes off. Runners on second and third now. He's going to steal that without a throw. So runners on second and third. Can the White Sox take the lead? Say it ain't so. White Sox sweep the Red Sox. Are you all in? No, not buying it.
No, not buying it.
You're not buying this team at what would they be? 6 or 5? Oh, how many was they got now? 4 or 5? 5?
This would be the fifth game. This would be the fifth win.
Okay, so they'd be what? 5 and 11, 5 and 12,
5 and 10.
5 and 10. Okay, it's better than you thought they'd be at this point, isn't it? Oh my! Stay fair. Oh, just drop ball. Palacios almost dropped that one down the line.
Who are these guys?
I don't know. Will Venables, White Sox, baby. If you're not with us now, don't be with us when we're 12 and 47.
Hey, it was a lot. It was an interesting game. You have to admit that.
Yeah, it's been a great game.
Yes.
We had a potential no-hitter broken up. Now it could be a tie game. Could be a comeback win. Who knows? We had a pitcher named Garrett get replaced by a pitcher named Garrett. How often do you see something like that happen?
Shane Smith looked okay.
Oof.
6 innings, 2 runs.
Palacios strikes out.
Yeah.
So 2 outs now, runners on second and third. White Sox get the A's coming up. They pull this one off. You win 3 straight versus the A's, and you go to Boston to play 4 more.
Here comes the baseball math.
And the Twins. I mean, you could realistically be back to 500 by the time you come back from Boston.
No.
No? You don't like that idea?
No, this is not the. They're getting Boston at the right time, I think.
In the cold of Chicago?
Yeah, just starting.
Boston's not exactly warm right now either.
No, I'm just saying they're getting them at the right time. They're not exactly clicking on all cylinders.
You think they'll be clicking on all cylinders 4 days from now?
At home, come back home, get a little rest, ram it all day.
Ram it all night.
Maybe ram it a little bit all night.
We were both going in the same spot. Oof. That ball to Vargas looked up.
Yeah, it did.
K-Zone had it as a strike, though.
Fuck off, asshole.
Come on, Vargas. 2-2 count.
Batting 151 with a 208 slugging.
He's no Javi Baez, whose slash lines right now are actually 313, 343, and 402.
Oh, here he comes.
He is the runaway comeback player of the year so far on April 13th.
3-2 count. Yeah.
I mean,
for now,
you got like it's one of those things, especially with the Latin players, and I've said it before. You know, when you leave a place like Chicago, and say what you want, their Cubs have had some bad years here, but that place is always electric. Wrigley is always electric. It's always packed. And when you're playing in that environment and you're used to it as a Latin player who it just thrives off energy. If you've ever watched baseball, if you've ever watched the series, the Caribbean series, in the winter, like
it's the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah, it's just a different environment, it's a different culture. So a lot of these players thrive off of that environment. And then when you leave like Wrigley Field in Chicago and the electricity that place can bring, and you go and you play in a place like Detroit or New York where they're booing you. Like it's a different environment for those guys. And I just think maybe it took a little bit of time for him to catch up, and maybe he needed to be as embarrassing as of a player as he's been over the last 2 years to find a way out of it and to work his way back out of it, because he is talented enough to work out of it. As Vargas swings, puts this one way up in the air, and it finally comes down. Duran's under it for the out. So going to the ninth, down 2-1. But no, I think that some of these Latin players, when you talk about Javi Baez, when you talk about Wilson Contreras, some of these other Latin players who leave these baseball cities where they're in an electric environment, and they leave and they go to one that's not quite as popular. I think it takes some getting used to for them. And Javi has the talent. I mean, he was we're what, 5 years removed from when he was playing at an MVP type caliber level. It was 2018, 2019. He was in the MVP conversation.
I thought it was 17, but you could be
No,
right.
it was 18 and 19. I think 18 he might have finished second. We'll look it up. We'll get the production staff on it.
He was just about. I mean, he wasn't lighting it up when he left the Cubs.
Well, no, when they traded him,
he did have some just ridiculously good years, though.
No, he did.
32.
It was 2018 where he was second in the MVP conversation. 2018.
Yep. All-star.
And he had 111 RBIs that year, 34 home runs.
19, and then
and I mean he was hitting 290. And when he got traded from the Cubs, in 2021, he was hitting at
with the Mets too.
He hit 300 with the Mets alone.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where I think it took a toll on him. I mean, with Detroit, he's been he's just been awful. It's been worse every year.
Last year, his OPS was 516, and that followed up a 593 OPS and a 671. Whew.
Yeah, not good.
Tough.
You want your OPS to be in like the low 8s to 9s.
Yeah.
You don't want your OPS.
Well, nowadays, I guess if you're a middle infielder, maybe you can get a little lower than that, but you're right.
Well, I mean, the year he was second in MVP voting, he had an 881 OPS.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just slowly declined.
Yeah. In 2020, he didn't have a good year, but that is the shortened year, but still.
I'll still never forget the meme of Sister Jean throwing out the first pitch, bouncing it 3 feet in front of the mound, and Javi Baez swinging at it. It's the greatest meme of all time.
I mean, he basically did that. I think it was when he first started with the Mets.
It was with the Mets, and then there was one when it was his first year with the Tigers, where there was a ball that, how sometimes a ball will get away from the pitcher and it'll hit like the grass or whatever, and it'll go like a 45-foot, and that happened, and Javi swung at the pitch. Like, that was a real thing. That really happened. And I think that was the moment where everyone was like, ooh, what's going on here? Because you don't, Major League players don't swing at these pitches. And it's been sad to watch because, look, Javi is an exciting player. He's an exciting defender.
Yeah.
He's just he's one of those guys who he lives for the moment. I mean, I'll never forget when he was with the Cubs and he, had the play in Pittsburgh where there were 2 outs and all the guy had to do was tag first, and Javi stops 5 feet in front of the bag and starts running towards the plate, and the guy chases him down, and then Javi ends up on second base.
Yeah, but that's a dumb play. I forgot
those are the things that Javi did, though. It was just weird. It was just like Javi always created those moments.
But that's what I like to say, country dumb. I mean,
all you had
why
to do
are
the
you
entire
chasing
time
them?
was just touch first.
Yeah.
The entire time.
Like,
why you decided to throw it home to try to get the runner instead of still just chasing Javi down is beyond me. Because even if the run scores, well, as soon as you tag Javi out, the run doesn't count.
that's almost like putting no defenders in the end zone when someone's throwing a Hail Mary against you.
Or like the play before the Hail Mary, playing a zone coverage and allowing them to gain an extra 15 yards so they could reach the end zone.
Well, no, I heard from somebody that didn't matter.
Yeah. And that's why that somebody is no longer coaching in the NFL. And the Red Sox, Trevor Story, just extends the lead as he hits a solo home run. Is 3-1 Red Sox. Should have bet Trevor Story.
We can end the broadcast, I think. Here.
All right, you ready to get out of here?
Let's do it.
All right, let's get the hell out of here.
It's 3-1. Come on.
All right, are we coming back on Thursday? What's the plan? This is great.
Let's come back on Thursday. Yeah.
Pull back the curtain. Everybody can see how we do things. This is just kind of how we do things.
Yes.
Hey, when do you want to do a show? And we're like, yeah. Like this morning at 11 o'clock when Fitzy called me, he finally decided to call me for once this week. And he was like, hey, do you want to do a show at 1 o'clock? And I was like, yeah, sure. Why not?
I texted you, and then you called me. I tried to call you back. You didn't answer. Playing hard to get.
Or, I expected to hear from you before.
I learned long ago to ram it just right. You can ram it all day and ram it all night.